These are the top 10 legendary Cold War spies who masterfully deceived both opposing global superpowers.
Number 10. The trusted insider who compromised an entire network.
1985. Washington, D.C., United States. A highly cleared American operative secretly handed over massive stacks of intel.
Driven by immense personal debt, he exchanged his nation's most guarded secrets for unimaginable foreign wealth. His unprecedented betrayal led directly to the tragic loss of numerous Allied operatives working deeply undercover. It took investigators nearly a decade to finally uncover the devastating leak hidden within their own headquarters. He was ultimately captured, securing his dark legacy as one of history's most damaging double agents.
Number 9. The billion-dollar engineer who compromised the sky.
1978. Moscow, Soviet Union. Critical radar blueprints.
He bypassed strict security, secretly providing highly classified radar data to foreign handlers over several years. His detailed intelligence completely overwhelmed enemy defenses, saving the opposing nation billions in advanced military research. But a rogue former operative tragically compromised his cover, initiating an immediate and aggressive internal investigation. He was swiftly eliminated, but his incredible espionage permanently altered the entire balance of aerial dominance.
Number 8. A trusted agent, rivaling our shocking number 1.
1979. New York, United States. A high-ranking counterintelligence agent began systematically betraying his own massive agency.
He utilized covert dead drops to secretly exchange highly sensitive operational documents for large diamond payouts.
Over 2 decades, his undetected espionage compromised major technical surveillance programs and exposed deep undercover assets. Elite investigators spent years desperately searching for the elusive traitor, hidden deep within their own ranks.
They finally tracked down the rogue operative during a routine drop, but discovering his true identity. The shocking arrest revealed a top agency veteran, betraying his country entirely for financial gain. His catastrophic treason exposed massive blind spots, forever altering internal security protocols worldwide.
Number 7. The vital insider who prevented absolute global destruction.
1962. Moscow, Soviet Union. A high-ranking officer secretly photographed highly sensitive nuclear missile documents.
He covertly passed these vital blueprints to Western handlers during tense diplomatic gatherings.
His crucial intelligence allowed opposing leaders to accurately track hidden missile deployments in Cuba. This unprecedented espionage directly averted an apocalyptic nuclear exchange during the tense global crisis.
Although he was eventually compromised, his heroic sacrifice essentially saved the entire modern world.
Number 6. The elite aristocrat, hiding a devastating communist allegiance.
1951. London, United Kingdom. As counterintelligence forces closed in, this legendary double agent
He successfully defected, leaving Western intelligence completely shattered and profoundly paranoid for several decades.
The aristocratic traitor spent his remaining years in isolated, heavily guarded foreign exile.
While Philby betrayed the elite class, our next operative compromised a massive subterranean operation.
Before we uncover more devastating intelligence leaks, ensure you securely subscribe to War Cinema 4K.
Number 5. A rogue operative, rivaling our ultimate number 1.
1953. Berlin, Germany. Allied forces constructed a massive underground tunnel to intercept enemy communications.
Blake secretly handed the complete tunnel blueprints to opposing forces before digging even commenced.
Western agencies spent millions gathering data, entirely unaware their adversaries were feeding them fabricated intelligence. When the devastating leak was finally exposed, he received an unprecedented 42-year sentence. But his dark story didn't end behind bars. 5 years later, he astonishingly
successfully escaped the maximum security prison, vanishing completely across the heavily guarded border.
He was welcomed as a legendary hero by his handlers, forever evading Western justice.
While Blake escaped physically, our next spy secretly smuggled out the ultimate weapon of mass destruction.
Number 4. The brilliant physicist who compromised the atomic bomb. 1945, Los Alamos, United States. A top scientist secretly copied highly classified nuclear weapon blueprints.
He handed the devastating atomic secrets to a foreign courier waiting in the dusty, weathered desert. His profound betrayal allowed an opposing superpower to rapidly construct their own devastating nuclear arsenal.
Western intelligence completely missed the infiltration, deeply trusting his brilliant mind and quiet, unassuming nature. When finally confronted by relentless investigators, he calmly surrendered without offering any physical resistance.
But when agents searched his dusty personal files, they discovered a hidden coded list pointing to
Number 3. The double agent who stopped a nuclear apocalypse.
1983, London, United Kingdom. A top Soviet operative secretly fed vital intelligence to British handlers.
He warned that opposing leaders mistakenly believed a routine military training exercise was an actual attack.
This urgent intelligence allowed Western forces to immediately de-escalate the terrifying global standoff.
Suspecting a mole, his ruthless commanders suddenly summoned him back for a heavily drugged interrogation. He miraculously maintained his cover, eventually escaping hidden deep inside a dusty diplomatic vehicle.
His astonishing defection completely humiliated his former agency, but our next spy remained entirely invisible.
Number 2. The Faceless Phantom, rivaling our ultimate number 1.
1974, Bonn, West Germany. This elusive spy master successfully planted a covert operative beside the Chancellor.
For decades, rival agencies didn't even know his face, until a single photograph shockingly revealed.
The astonishing photograph finally exposed the elusive spy master after nearly 20 years of complete operational invisibility. Even after his identity was exposed, he effortlessly slipped across the heavily guarded border into safe territory.
Despite eventually facing trial, the legendary Phantom Spy Master avoided lengthy imprisonment through highly complex legal maneuvers.
Western intelligence agencies spent decades chasing a brilliant shadow, fundamentally transforming modern covert surveillance operations forever.
While the Faceless Master controlled massive networks, our final operative worked entirely alone in the shadows.
Prepare for the absolute pinnacle of Cold War espionage, the legendary master of complete deception.
Number 1. The ultimate phantom who operated in plain sight.
1957, New York, United States. An unassuming local artist secretly directed a massive foreign intelligence ring. When tactical agents finally raided his secret studio, the brilliant spy made one astonishing, calculated move.
He calmly crushed a highly classified cipher paper before the tactical agents could secure the room. Investigators systematically dismantled the studio, uncovering hollow coins and incredibly advanced clandestine communication equipment.
The unassuming painter had single-handedly managed an enormous intelligence network, operating directly inside hostile territory.
Facing overwhelming evidence, he maintained absolute silence and completely refused to betray his foreign handlers.
He gracefully accepted a massive prison sentence, patiently waiting in the shadows for a miracle.
That miracle arrived when an Allied reconnaissance pilot was dramatically captured deep behind enemy lines.
desperate national leaders secretly negotiated an unprecedented historic exchange to recover their fallen aviator.
The master spy was quietly escorted to a heavily guarded, freezing bridge in divided Germany.
This legendary prisoner swap became the most iconic standoff of the entire global shadow conflict. But as these legendary operatives crossed paths, one terrifying question finally emerged from the mist. Did their unseen sacrifices truly prevent a catastrophic war, or merely prolong the overwhelming paranoia?
These 10 master operatives fought an entirely invisible conflict, armed only with stolen secrets and deception.
They constantly risked severe prosecution and permanent erasure from official history for their respective nations. Yet, their unbelievable intelligence gathering maintained a fragile, necessary balance of power between hostile superpowers.
Without their profound betrayals, the entire globe might have easily tumbled into devastating atomic annihilation.
Ultimately, the thin line between a heroic patriot and a deeply despised traitor
depends entirely on which massive geopolitical empire successfully won the silent, ideological war. Their highly classified dossiers remain securely locked away, gathering dust in heavily guarded subterranean archives. But their terrifying, invisible legacies will permanently echo across the absolute darkest pages of history.
Don't get left behind when the next siren wails. Subscribe to War Cinema 4K now.